Hey, welcome to Pause on Purpose. We are starting a brand new month, and you know what that means, a brand new word. And this month, we are starting the word wisdom. Boy, there's a great word, right? Something our culture and our world is desperately lacking, wisdom. But that kind of begs the question. When we say wisdom, what do we actually mean? What is it that we're looking for? Well, worldly wisdom in God's eyes is foolishness. I mean, that's the way the world works. And they use their methods, their resources. But in God's world, he uses his wisdom, his resources, his power, his strength. And oftentimes, the world's view of wisdom and God's view of wisdom are on polar opposites, completely different. So this month, we're going to narrow down what is biblical wisdom. And the first way we're going to do that today is by asking, what if we lack wisdom? What are we supposed to do? But before we get there and answer that question, I want to give us a definition of when we say biblical wisdom, what are we talking about, right? Well, let me hand it to you here. It's a manner of thinking that leads to prudent and godly behavior. Let me say that again. It's a manner of thinking that leads to prudent and godly behavior. So with that, let's answer our question today. What if we're lacking wisdom and we really need more wisdom than we have right now? What if we're lacking that? Great question. God says in James chapter 1, verse 5, many of you are familiar with this today, right? The writer of James, he's the half-brother of our Lord Jesus. He says this, if you need wisdom, ask our generous God, and he will give it to you. He will not rebuke you for your asking. But when you ask him, be sure that your faith is in God alone. Do not waver, for a person with divided loyalty is as unsettled as a wave of the sea that is blown and tossed by the wind. So did you catch that? God will give us wisdom, but we need to make sure that our focus and trust is completely on him and not thinking, well, if God doesn't answer me in my timing and when I need it, then I'm probably going to do option B, whatever that is. No, God says he won't give wisdom to a person like that. We have to be sold out and leave all the decisions, all the consequences, all the results to him. And when we do that and we say, God, I need wisdom, lo and behold, he gives it, and he gives it generously. So what is wisdom? It's a manner of thinking that leads to godly and prudent behavior. And if we're lacking that today in our decision making, God says, ask me. Just ask me, and I'll give it. I'm generous God. I'm a gracious God, and I will give it without measure. And beloved, when you get that wisdom, drop me a line and then go with God because he goes with you. God bless you.